Hello everyone, my name is Lauren Kaufman. I'm 16 and I'm a sophomore at Santa Fe Trail High School. And for my Renaissance project, I decided to talk about candle making during the Renaissance. I chose candles because when I was a kid and I was growing up, my mom, whenever she got bored or anything, because she was a stay-at-home mom, we would make candles in the kitchen, homemade candles, and I would like to sit there and I like to watch her make them, and I just like being a part of the whole process. And so I thought that it would be fun to learn more about it because it's kind of like a part of my childhood and it reminds me of my mom, and I just thought it would be interesting to maybe tell other people and they can make candles too. So I guess it will start from the beginning. The very first standard normal candles that were made out of spermaceti wax. This is what some of them look like. That's spermaceti wax. And here's another one. So they were kind of like white and pale. And this is some trays they had, but it's spermaceti wax is like beeswax, but it doesn't put out an odor when it was burned. And the light burn from it was very, very bright. And it also was a lot harder than beeswax or regular wax. So if you set it in the sun or you kept it out, it wouldn't melt away in the heat. It would stay firm as a candle until you lit it. So it would stand up and it wouldn't get soft or bend or anything like that. A lot of candles, most candles are made out of this spermaceti wax. That's what a good amount of them were made out of. But some of them were also made out of different types of animal fat, such as whales. This is whale fat candles. They're all bumpy and they're dark brown. That's what they look like. This was one of the most common. This and the spermaceti were the most common candles. But these were cheaper, and they were what a lot of the lower class people had in their houses, or people stuff like that. During famines, when no one had food, and you had these, people would sometimes even go as far as to eat the fat from the candles because they were edible, and so it was gross. And when they were burned, they put out huge odor, and the light, the fire from it, really wasn't that bright, but they were cheap, and that's what most people had. And so yeah, these are again whale fat candles, and we already went over spermaceti candles. Okay. During the Renaissance, most of these candles that were made, and most of the candles in general, were used for weddings or funerals or in events or inside shops and stores. And some people kept them in their houses when they didn't have couldn't afford much light. But they were mostly used in church events and things like that. It was considered very rich if you kept the spermaceti candles in your house, because these were the nice ones. And again, the poor side, the lower class, had the whale fat candles. So it was considered very, very rich if you had these in your house. But they were mostly used, as I said, in weddings and things like that, because not everyone could afford them. Here's another one. Tallow is kind of another type of fat. This is a tallow candle, and they smell horrible. They burned quickly, and they filled your house with smoke whenever they were burnt. So these were not as common in stores and stuff because they smell awful. And these were also another type that you could I don't know. But these were called tallow, and it's kind of a harder type of wax, but they smell awful, and they left a bunch of smoke and just stuff like that. Now getting into more recent days, we have scented candles, so they don't smell bad, and we have colored candles. Colored candles are a lot different than you'd think. They're actually a lot easier to make. So you get your wax, and you could dye it, or you could just get a regular white candle and dip it in colored wax, and you can make different designs and things like that. Say you can make a blue candle, you could dip it in blue wax, but if you wanted a purple candle, blue and red make purple, so you dip it in the blue and then dip it in the red, and just go back and forth for how dark or how light you want the purple, or how many coats you wanted. And you can dip it multiple times to make different designs too. So there's a plus. But now most of our candles are colored. Most of our like decorative candles, like this one's empty, but these ones, they're all colored nowadays. But most of them that you'd see at church, like the small ones that some of us like light on Christmas, those are white candles, and those are more recent for big events because they're small and they're cheap and a lot of people can have them. But the ones in the home are more scented and more decorative and things like that. So let's go over this one more time. Spermaceti candles were considered rich because they were a hard wax and not everyone could afford them, and they were like a good candle to have around. Tallow filled the house with smoke. Not many people use them because of their smell, but again, along with the whale fat candles, these two were used the most by the lower class because they were cheaper and it's all they could afford. The whale fat was eaten during famines when people had nothing to eat. And the colored candles and scented candles. And then I think that covers it. So this was my project over candles in the Renaissance. My name is Lauren. I'm a sophomore at Santa Fe Trail High School. And that's all. Thank you.